Welcome back to the Dora Paputsaki show. We are back after our Christmas holidays. Some people having a better Christmas or last few weeks than others. We're going to start on a serious and solemn note, but welcome George and Niko, obviously, and our good friend Angelo Tsarouchas is here with us this week.
Hi, Ange.
Yes, us guys, how you doing?
Good. Happy New
Good.
Year.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to all our listeners and viewers.
Yes.
As they say in Greek, Kali Chronia, Kali Sinechia.
Mhm.
But it hasn't been such a calicroña, Angelo. We're so happy to have you, and we're so first of all so happy that you and Alina and Olivia and Zumi
Zumi.
is safe. Everybody is safe from the LA fires. But give our listeners and our viewers a chance to have firsthand from you what's going on
Sure.
over there.
Well, you see, what happened, guys, was, I got back. I was working in Florida, and I got back on the 6th of January. And, I'm home for 11 days. It happened to be the next day. I woke up in the morning and, it was a windstorm happening in the morning. So some of the chairs and tables in the backyard were getting moved around, but that's normal. That could be in Vancouver, it could be anywhere, you get wind. So we didn't think anything of it. But as the day progressed, the wind was getting stronger and stronger. And about 4 or 5 o'clock, you saw the palm trees all wilted to one side.
Wow.
So you were like, even when Alina came to get me at the car with her car, the car, when you're driving your car and it's shaking from the wind.
Yes,
And we
yes.
have a Chrysler 300S. We have a big car, and the thing was moving. And Alina
Jeez.
says, "This is unusual wind."
Yeah.
And that's, I think, so as you know, there's a lot. We're Greeks. There's a lot of conspiracies now going around about
Mhm.
everything. What happened here was it was like a perfect storm. So the winds got up as high as 100, between 90 and 160 miles an hour, which is level 2 hurricane.
Oh,
That'd
wow.
be equate about a level 2 hurricane without
Right.
moisture. Now, it's the driest beginning of the new year since 1964. We've had zero point 0.2 inches of rain, like nothing. So I think the combination of those winds knocking over the live power lines. So what was happening was the live power lines are live. The electricity hits the shrub,
Yeah.
the trees, homes, buildings, and then it becomes a blowtorch.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what happened. And you saw in the news, those palm trees looked like somebody took a blowtorch and was holding it to them. And the embers were burning. And those embers can go between 3 and 10 miles, they estimated. So they couldn't control. So imagine chunks of wood or something that hot lit up and then catching on. And here it's all, palm trees, shrubs, and
Yeah.
and
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 you do
and
have, I don't know if a lot of people really realize that there is quite a forest and a mountainous area full of
yeah,
trees, like right just east of, the Los Angeles area. Because I know our friends, our Kubati, who live in Glendora, are right by a big forested area,
The
right?
foothills.
right.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's and where they live, Glendora, Altadena, Pasadena. They got the massive fire, which
Yes.
they're still trying to put out. And so it's a lot of it's been contained, but Altadena, Pasadena, and Pacific Palisades, the fires are still burning, but they've
Yeah.
they've been able to. The winds have died down, and that's what they were scared about the last couple of nights. And I I got friends who are up in the Hollywood Hills where Runyon Canyon is,
Hmm.
and his house is right at the top. He's an actor. I won't say his name because I promised I would. He goes, I don't want people to know.
Of
The
course.
other thing he was worried about was looters.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
So you had assholes that they knew the areas were getting gonna burn,
Evacuated. Yeah.
and they would go in and and this is LA, so a lot of these neighborhoods, these people got God knows what kind of art, what kind of valuable
No,
things you can
it's
have.
so funny because I had heard about this recently. I think yesterday I heard about this, and you know, on a normal day, you really wonder about humanity. And
Yeah.
it's at times like this where you're like, are you kidding
Some
me?
of them actually dressed up as firemen,
Yes.
It's
Like, I
pretending that
mean, what
disgusting.
I mean, it just goes to show you, like, we don't want to believe that, there's people like that, but but
Yeah.
what's that saying? Some don't let a disaster go to waste, right?
yeah,
You can use that
Horrible.
with looters, you can use that with
Yeah.
insurance companies, you can use that with hedge fund people. I mean, there's already talk about people that want to purchase land now that's burnt
Yeah.
out, that insurance companies. Now the fire chief is getting into it with the mayor and the governor of California. And then, now we have an election. We have a new inauguration happening on Monday. There's just a lot of stuff. The Prime Minister of Canada resigned.
Yeah. I don't think
There's
that was related to the virus,
no,
but yeah.
it's not, but it in a weird way, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we started, like, I thought 2024, guys, just from my perspective, Hollywood, we had COVID, which crippled Hollywood. And then we were struck with strikes,
You had the
uh,
strikes. Yeah. The
director
writers'
strike, writer strike,
Yeah.
voice actor strike. Then IATSE workers wanted to strike. Now the voice guys are on strike. Now the commercial guys want to go on strike.
Yeah.
So,
Angelo,
yeah.
I think though, when you look at this whole cinematic industry, Hollywood, the worst strike, let's be honest, was the porn actor strike. That
Of
just
course.
cripples
That was-
everybody.
That devastated me, George.
We're
It
not
hurt-
quite sure how we survived.
I don't know.
The porn actors don't want to
Oh.
go to work.
Right? I mean,
I
and
mean,
is
you can't watch the same porn over and over again.
Exactly.
I
And
saw
is it
one
really-
140 times about Ethica?
and is it really work if it's something that you love? It's not. It's not
It's
work,
not.
right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's
Tell
not.
me,
But
Ange, I want to know about the Greek conspiracy theories behind. So some of them I'm
Well-
sure will wonder, but some will have,
yeah,
have a
I
good
can start
laugh.
DEI, the diversity. That's it's
What?
guys, and even
Yes.
Canada,
Explain.
they've gone down to saying that this is all because they've hired people that shouldn't be there, only based on the DEI initiative.
And they're saying also I think the fire chief is female, right? And black.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, she's white. She's
oh
white.
my
She's white.
God.
She's white. She's female, and she was saying that
could be
Must be
lesbian,
staying.
possibly.
probably, and her
Who
focus
cares?
was more about diversity hiring than actually being prepared for fires.
And be prepared for fire.
Yeah,
And,
so-
and I had people from Canada, I hate to say it, call me going, Ange, is this really happening? Or is it all AI
Made up.
generated to make it?
Yeah.
Guys, we're devastated. This
Yeah.
isn't
Δεν βαριέστε.
a
Δεν
movie.
βαριέστε. Exactly. Δεν βαριέστε με τη μαλακία σας.
It's
Yeah.
We're
malakes.
here.
And I
Ο
said,
κόσμος,
look,
ο κόσμος καίγεται, όπως
Yeah,
λέγεται.
there's
Ο
a
κόσμος
saying.
καίγεται και η που φτενίζεται. It's like
Yeah.
you guys,
Right.
you're focused on the wrong thing.
and that was happening. And these are people I know. And I said, guys, look, I said, this is serious. We were getting, because Olivia has her phone. She goes, Dad, I got a evacuation caution. And guys, honestly, I was talking to Earth in Greece.
Mhm.
And she goes, when did it really occur to you that? And I said, my 12-year-old went into her room and packed her valuable stuff.
Hmm.
We didn't say nothing to her. And she goes, Dad, I'm just going to have she had her little kuklas and some stuff that she had. She goes, I just want to have
Your
this.
go bag.
Oh, that makes me want to cry. That's so sad
you know-
because a child who's that age should not have to
to,
worry
to
about
think
that.
about that. And
Yeah.
we didn't say nothing to her. She did it on her own. And
Mhm.
and the guy, that's what made me realize. I was like, well, I said, look, I mean, when my daughter, because she has friends from our church that lost their homes.
Yeah.
So the kids talk to each other, on the chat. And she said, Dad, my friend, they lost their house. The other ones lost their house. She goes, are we going to lose our house?
Yeah.
And because we were where we're located, we're in the epicenter of it, meaning we're in the center of it, far enough away, but close enough that,
Right.
like that fire I was telling you about in Hollywood, if the winds from Tuesday night that hit Palisades and Pasadena, Altadena, if those winds happened on Wednesday night last week, the helicopters and the seaplanes can't go up.
Right.
It was Spirta. That it would have turned all of Hollywood Hills, Hollywood as we know it, Studio City,
Be gone.
it would have been burnt to toast. There's no doubt. We all knew it. But luckily, the Wednesday night winds had calmed down. They were able to contain the fires. And some malaka I put a drone up. So kudos to Canada. I want to give a shout out here. Quebec sent their planes all the way from Quebec, and they have one of the only few places in the world where the planes can go into the ocean,
Yes.
one swoop, pick up the water, and fly right away.
Yeah,
Some
Greece does
malaka
those too.
put a drone up and it hit one of the planes.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
it knocked out one of the
God.
planes.
At the
It didn't
land. Yeah,
crash.
yeah, but
Remember that?
it was just, and the plane now is out of commission because there's a big
Yeah.
hole in the wing and a big hole about
Yeah.
holes like this in the
Right.
wing, and now the plane has to be repaired before it can go up again. So
Go up
Exactly.
again.
yeah,
So
And you know what? Yeah. You're right.
Alberta, Danielle Smith in Alberta said when they had the fires in Alberta, California helped. They sent it down. British Columbia, your
Yeah.
province,
Yeah.
sent a whole bunch of aid down because and so Canada has filotimo here.
Yeah.
Quebec, everybody craps on Quebec, but look, man, Quebec stepped up. They said we have these unique planes that are
Yeah.
rare in the world, and they sent them. I think 2 or 3 of them went to California.
You
And
know
it was a
what's
big
funny,
help.
Ant? I was reading because I was talking to my Kubata about this, obviously, and I said, well, we have Canada has planes. I'm sure they'll send them down. And I said, what about, we see a lot of fires in Greece. There's a lot of fires in Samos often, and we see the planes all the time, and they swoop into the ocean and they pick up the water and they dump it. I said, I get it that there's the reservoirs and everything, but what about the ocean? But it was funny right after I said that, because of course Google is listening to us at all times. I got an article on my phone, why ocean water may not be
Right.
beneficial for fires. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
the salt.
It's the
What?
salt. It's
Yeah.
the salt. It has to go through a purification process because the
Right.
salt can actually act as an enhancer.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Right. That it's not that I know because Palisades is right by the Pacific.
Yeah.
Pasadena's more in. So that, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then some fire hydrants and everything. But look, nobody expected this kind of a fire, but with those kind of winds.
Yeah.
But you saw those palm trees. I don't know if you saw the palm trees that
Yeah,
looked
they
like
were bent over.
they held a blowtorch to it.
Yeah.
The wind was hitting it so hard, and the embers were flying off it, and that just created more fires upon more fires.
Yeah.
But it's the response. I mean, LAFD first responders here are asteria, big time superstars,
I can
because
only
they were.
imagine.
And I have to tell you, living in because California, LA, Hollywood gets a bad rap. Let me tell you something. The community is rallied around each other here. In-N-Out Burger gave meals to all first responders, complimentary by In-N-Out Burger. Starbucks. I think people realized, and In-N-Out Burger didn't sensationalize it. They didn't go on Instagram to look how good we are. They just did it. And there was a scene where there's about 10 firefighters going into In-N-Out Burger, and then people in there were giving them a standing O. So, it's good to see that it has that kind of kinotita here,
Yeah,
and even here, I have to admit, because, it's always me, Hollywood. I'm writing a script. I'm doing a movie, blah, blah, blah. They're rich people. Fuck them. We don't give a shit. It wasn't like that. But, and
I'm
get
glad
it.
to hear. Yeah, I'm absolutely
get it.
glad to hear. I know that there's lots of places to donate. I think there's a Saint Sophia. It has a
Yeah, St.
relief
Sophia
fund.
does.
We'll post everything as much as we can on our social media.
I think there's a lot of asteria that are going to come out of
We're
this.
definitely going to
Yeah.
talk about asteria later for
Yeah.
sure, and malakes.
But
Lots of them too.
Yeah, I think Niko is right, and so is Angelo. If we're going to give a highlight to the asteria, it really is the first responders.
Yeah.
Well, for the actual part in our show later on, we'll do it. Yes, but I think overall, let's give it to the first
Absolutely.
responders.
Yeah, and
Who stepped
secondly, and to who stepped up, the 51st state of
Canada,
Canada.
baby.
You know,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know. It got.
The 51st state.
we're just showing them that we're gonna be the best state.
Canada,
Come in.
Are you sure you want us to be the 51st state? We're going to outshine all you.
You know what, Niko, they asked me, they go, so how do you feel about this 51st state? I go, you know what? I never see Canada becoming the 51st state, but if America's open for a trade, I strongly suggest we trade Quebec for Florida, straight up.
Yeah.
But we keep the poutine, okay? Let's not give away the farm, right, George?
Exactly.
And they laugh at me.
And the smoked meat.
And the smoked meat. Again, tongue in cheek. But hey, even Quebec stepped up. They said, you know what? There's problems there. And that's a far distance to go
Yeah.
from Quebec to California. And they sent the battalion in to help. So, yes, Canada, the 51st state, man.
The
I just
Back
hope that
up
I
first
hope that
state.
the president that's coming into power is realizing
I
that
think so.
I
I
hope
think
so.
so.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
so.
my
I mean, but
gosh.
but what bothered me, guys, was is it fabricated?
Yeah.
I go, guys, you can't, because some people thought it was like AI.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not kidding you. They thought, well, it's AI. You guys are showing AI can manufacture. I said, guys, it's not AI.
Well,
This
you know,
is
Ang-
it's
real
just that
deal.
Angelo,
there's so much doubt out there because, for
mm,
example, when did this happen, Nico? Maybe you can remember that. Was there an eclipse of some sort? There was something going on that people were like gravitating to go see. And when you took the picture with your iPhone, like it was this
No, it's the moon. It's the moon.
whatever,
it was a lunar
yeah,
eclipse.
whatever
It
it
was a
was, yeah.
lunar, a full
Last
lunar
September, I was
eclipse.
in
Yeah.
Toronto when that happened.
Yeah.
And it was this picture was incredible, right? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you would take it with
S-
another phone,
So
and this was reality versus things that
I
are
want to ask
Well,
Angelo also, like, with your comedy act and you're going to be on tour where we're going to see you
Yeah.
soon. Is it too early to start making jokes about this? Because I know
Yeah.
that
I
in the
mean,
yeah,
roasts they will.
I'm sure, look, Aristophanes, right? What is comedy is tragedy plus time.
Yeah.
yeah,
Aristophanes, the philosopher, said that so look, I think now, I think you can make comedy about the stupidity of people
mhm.
reacting to this.
hmm,
I think that's kind of a funny situation in that sense. The devastation's not funny.
yeah,
So it's funny you say that, Nick. It's a good question because people ask me, I go, look, this is a time that a lot of comedians, the comedy clubs are all doing nonstop fundraising shows
yeah,
here in Hollywood, Laugh Factory, Comedy Store, Improv, Ice
Hooray.
House, Comedy Magic Club, Hermosa. And people are donating their time and raising funds for first responders, for people
yeah.
in need. So I think so. Yes, I mean, as a comic, you got to look at where comedy is. But myself personally, I think maybe in a year from now, there
Yeah.
could be situations arising from what happened that could be funny.
Well, we could talk about
I
how you were contacted by the Greek news.
yeah, that's
That's
funny.
always comedy.
That's always
And what
like,
did they want? What did they want you to do? I'm sure they wanted you to be
well,
in the eye of
they
the
show. It's
tiger.
funny because the ones from Earth and Thessaloniki were great.
Yeah.
They actually they interviewed a few of us like Vasi and Shelley Papadopoulos, and they're asking of us the situation, which was more factual. But some of the other news agencies, which will remain unnamed, kind of like, hey, can you possibly go down where the fire is and like give us a sort of like a reporter image of it? I'm like, guys, they first of all quarantined everything.
There's a
And so
blockade.
now
Hello.
if it's interesting. A guy said to me, who's an LAPD cop, he said, well, people died in Palisades and now they're talking about arson. So the reason they're not letting people in, it's an active crime scene now.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you can't, if there was actually arson committed, they have to investigate. People died. They
Yeah.
can't let people, the whole thing is possibly an active crime scene.
Well, and
So
just the
you
fact
can't,
that they wanted you to go down there and put your own life at risk
yeah,
is
like no.
But
hilarious.
that's what happens when you look at air. What do? They take one clip and they put it on the loop,
Right. They
Yes.
right?
loop it.
And they keep going over and over. They sensationalize it. I remember when this whole town up in northern BC burnt down. They had
Yeah.
this crappy ass person giving who was that person outside of her
Stop.
house?
That was me.
But they had the
I remember that.
fire on a loop over and over and over. And I
That
agree
one
with
was a
Angela.
good one. I liked that report. But what I didn't like was, and this turned me completely off from Greek news. And again, like you said, Ange, I've had really great experience with some
Yeah.
news and others. This last one I didn't. And the reason was I got in so much trouble from Vancouverites, right? Because it was about a week after Vancouver had this ultimate low
Cold spell.
cold spell. Yeah, it was so
Mm,
cold. It was
that's
minus
right.
30. I remember taking my son to Abbotsford for basketball, and I couldn't see on the way back because it was like just
Just
crystallized. My
fucking
windshield
frozen up.
windshield was crystallized. It was
Right.
brutal. Anyways, they decided to call a week later. So I went on and I did this report, and I did preface my report with, things are good now. Like the snow had practically melted off of my front lawn. Everything's okay now, but about a week ago. But they posed it as if it was current. They're like,
Right.
да бира си поите не при напомнявам, мисля по метора, пускани по ликрио. I'm like, frig, whatever. Totally backfired on me because Vancouverites were like, you're misrepresenting, and why would you say that? And that's not true. And people are calling me from Greece asking me if I'm okay. And I'm like, guys, it was this cold a week ago. Do you remember?
Yeah. And
Like,
it's
hello.
I know Dora, it's interesting because my mom called me. Then because my Thea in Greece called my mom to tell her I was on the news. I go, Ma, let me ask you. I was on the Halifax comedy special in Canada. Nobody called me on CBC. I'm on the news in Greece. Nem me permite the level. Nem to
It's
I go,
a big
I
deal
don't know
to
when they're gonna
Greek
show it.
moms when you're on the
And my
news.
mom's funny. She goes, I go, Mom, I was on CBC Comedy Halifax Comedy Fest. You were? But you get it on your TV in Canada. They don't see that or
Oh
see
my
TV, but they
God.
see Tanea Aputinalada.
Big deal. Big deal. Okay, so let's switch gears. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody down
Thanks.
in our beautiful state of California. I
To Los
absolutely,
Angeles, yes.
yeah, it's
And I
just
know you guys have Kubati here too, so I'm
we
sure
do.
you're in
We have Kubati, and we
communication
have a
with them.
lot of really,
Nice
really
people.
close
Nice
friends.
Yes.
people.
Yes,
We're
and speak and to give
devastated.
a shout out to our Cubano who opened up that the barbecue station in Glendora. You got to check it out. Authentic Texas ribs.
Totally
I'll be
okay.
there. And
That
I'm going
is
to drop
such
your
a
names as well.
blatant
You remember me, Angelo, and
Oh,
Fred
George.
before
they
Niko?
love you. They love you, Angelo.
George,
Yeah,
have
they're
you
nice
heard such
people.
a
We'll go there one
blatant
day.
plug before in your life?
Barbecue Station, Route 66 in Glendora. Amazing. You
Let's
got to
talk
check it
about something fun. Let's talk about
No,
something.
let's talk about what kind of ribs, what kind of sauce do they have?
out. I'll ask the Cubano.
Andrew, you going to FDF? Are
I
you
am. I'm going to
okay?
be here for it.
Perfect. I'm going to be there with my kids, so maybe we'll scoot off and go for barbecue.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. They have a Portillo's in Anaheim, which is close by, which is Chicago hot dogs and beef sandwiches, which are
Ooh.
trella.
Well, you
Are you
get one of
gonna
those
take?
on the
Don't
way to
forget
Glendora.
about me, and you
No,
text
no, I
me.
won't because I'm
Laura,
going to
where
be
are you?
here.
Let's go for hot dog.
Alina's going because Saint Sophia, it's like a huge shindig at
It's fantastic.
FDF, and the kids are dancing, and they've
We're
lost my daughter's Pondian costume now, so they're trying to find another one. And these
oh,
are the other things that you do as a parent. And and I'll be here. So Lena says,
oh, I'm
my
so glad.
daughter,
And Dora,
my
when you go
wife
to the
goes, if my wife says to me, George, if I asked you, you'd say no, but your daughter says, Daddy, you come see me. Of course I'm happy. I'm going to be there.
Of course, and so
You
will
guys
I
understand as parents.
to watch her. Oh, that's awesome. Now
Yeah.
I went. Sorry, George, did you want to say something?
what I wanted to say was when you guys go to these rib joints and these hot dog joints, you're gonna package a few and bring back here to Vancouver.
No, we're
You
just gonna
You
send you
should.
photos. Sorry.
You should.
We're
Okay.
gonna send photos with like barbecue
juices
sauce
all
down
over our
the
faces.
sides.
Oh,
the
it
juice.
is.
Niko scase, you nasty ass.
Salib sa metal.
And I see we're talking about barbecue juices. Where did you Tomialo si Pupi get it?
Exactly.
I know my husband very well. Thank you very much. Now,
Love it, man.
let
Love
me,
barbecue.
I mean, we have so much community, George, the community stuff. Let's leave it to the end for community news. We have so much fun things to talk about from last weekend. But I wanted, we're back here in the swing of things, and I just wanted to see what's going on with our friends out on our social media. So I put something up on social media today because I thought it'd be a fun question. So my social media said, oh no, what am I doing? Here we go. So I put a question out there, podcast topic. What rule did you have to follow as a Greek child that kids just would not understand today? And I thought that was such a fun topic. So you want to hear some of the responses from our fans?
Sure.
So Natalia says, getting in trouble for talking to boys, like classic. Whereas today,
Yeah.
if Olivia's talking on Snapchat to a boy, you're probably saying, What, Ange?
She's telling me now.
Just like have fun, right? Our friend Jerry says, don't go outside with hair wet or you'll get sick.
Another good one.
Another malakia,
George,
right?
did you get my answer?
Wait, I'm going through the list. From our listener, Maria, don't kiss the icons if you have your period.
I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Or getting Holy Communion.
Ridiculous.
Taking Holy Communion on your period, you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
You weren't
I know that-
allowed to before science intervened, and we realized that.
I know that Niko and I got some too. So when you finish with yours, I'm going to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
mine.
Yes, I am. This is what, I love
I
our
would-
listeners, obviously, but what I'm most interested in is definitely Niko and George. Hold on, I'm almost done. And our friend Calliope says, don't open the fridge when guests are over. And she gave a little explanation. This always gives the perception that our parents don't feed us if you're constantly standing in front of the fridge.
That's actually funny.
I remember going to people's houses and being offered a chocolate, right? Pare.
Yeah.
So you took the one. And then the lady would say, ela, pare chialo. And your mom would give you the freaking
Mi paris.
She gave you the eyeball. Like if you took another one, you were like, so it's like they didn't feed you or they never gave you chocolate, right? So that was fun. Okay.
Niko, what did you
Niko
hear
and
from the fans?
George.
The only
Niko, what
thing I
did you-
know is if someone you cannot walk over someone that's lying down on the floor.
I
Yes.
never, yeah, I heard that.
And
one, yeah.
and
Bethapsilosis.
and do not change the TV with the remote control if I'm passing by because of the electrical
The
current.
radiation will kill you.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Look at Angelo's face. Meanwhile, we sleep literally with our phones on our chests.
On your
Yes.
chest.
Fall asleep and my phone has fallen like on my chest.
How about
George-
this one they forgot, Dora? How
What?
about this one? You're going to Greek school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Feliz the paz.
I know.
I don't want to go to. I want to go to Greek school now. It's
I know. My daughter did Greek school till about grade 6. She had friends in her class, so she enjoyed going. The minute I think Emmanuel was like grade 2, it's like, I'm not going anymore. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, our parents, are you kidding me?
There was the one that I got from a listener online was what they heard when they were younger was in order to maintain your purity for your wedding day, make sure you use the back door before you get there.
You are such a liar, and there's no listener.
I love how
that.
George is not even part of any conversation in his life. You ever notice that? I mean, we're talking about Greek. I'm a dibiso borta. George, bless you, man, bless you. I don't know what kind of really you're smoking, bro, but it's really got to be good. I want to try some when I come to Vancouver because
My favorite thing about Angelo being on the show, on the weeks he's on the show, is roasting George.
George, I agree. I would only use the back door if they weren't taking Holy Communion that week.
Oh my God, you guys are so nasty. What is wrong with you?
if there's been so much devastation, we got to talk about something.
We just have to be silly.
Change the topic.
Oh,
So fun.
Good times, good
Okay,
times.
I think this is our cue to go listen to some music, and we will be back in.
Can I make a request?
I can imagine. What's your request, George?
Baby's got back.
Dice malakes delica. Okay.
Now it's too late. We can't say that again.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dora Paputsaki Show. Quedó vreta pulaya muola. Oh my God, isn't that funny? Like when you say certain, like, okay, so when a woman says to you, or when somebody says to you, vreka loso pulaki mo, it's like she's saying something nice, but she's really not.
that's
That's like,
I wish someone would say that to me.
Play. You can play on that metaphor all day long if you
Oh
want.
yeah.
yeah,
she could-
especially with
she
these
could
two over
play.
here.
She could play on it all day long.
Good. Look, guys, when I was in Greece in October, like everything's changed so drastically because you guys go every year too. But the thing that our generation and the diaspora Greeks don't realize, we left with the values our parents had when they left. That's all. That game's changed big time in Greece.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Sure.
I notice it with even doing comedy there and talking to people, the girls are very pretty, tatted up, very aggressive. It's not like it was once where, we had that dropi,
Hang on,
or
No,
where are these
they
are
girls?
don't
you
Where are
care
these
what
kidding?
people
girls?
are going to think.
There's no droppy. Oh my God.
Zero. We
No
still
way.
have a bit of that, I
I
think. We
kind of
still
feel
have.
bad for guys. I mean, in the past when I was young, you didn't really feel bad for guys, but I do kind of feel like my son is 17 and probably haven't had as many conversations as I should have. But, stuff like when people are aggressive, but then at the same time, there's this whole like consent thing, right? Which obviously I agree that there has to be consent, but there was a time where there had to be like spoken consent. Like, can I hug you? Yes, you can. Can I?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. But at the same time, these women are so aggressive. It's weird. It's just a weird.
Have you seen those TikTok videos where the comotria goes to the person? Do I have your consent to touch you so I can cut your hair?
Yeah. Now, speaking of TikTok,
Isn't
at
it
midnight,
isn't it going away for you guys?
it's in America, it's not going to happen. Now, I don't know.
America.
America, it's a done deal.
That's
They're
what I
not,
heard
they're
yesterday.
canceling it. And I think if the Greeks are very active on TikTok,
Yeah.
and I wonder what it's going to happen. I just put a
Well,
video
people
up.
are really upset because they're like the American content is like the best content. So
Right.
when the
And they,
Americans can't use TikTok, what's going to be on there like Greek or
No,
Canadian
what's
content?
what's
It's red.
crazy is that these poor TikTokers in the US actually have to get a real job now.
And
no,
can't
it's
just
true. A
make
lot of people,
millions
yep, you're right, George.
TikToking.
You're right. A lot of people make their living out of it, promoting products, and
Yeah.
I just did
and
a
now we're
search. I just did a Google search. It says TikTok prepares to shut down app in the US on Sunday. And then the other one says US TikTok refugees are fleeing to Chinese app Red Note.
that's the new one.
Well,
We
Let's
should
let's
go
start
be
a
for
real. You don't think that they're going to develop something like that, like the new TikTok? Like, come on, guys.
well, they're going from one spy agency to another.
exactly. Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
selling it. What scared the American government was that TikTok was able to message 180 million Americans at one shot. And the US government doesn't have that capability. And that's what scared them.
Yep.
Zilepsane.
Yes, he lips on it, but it's also, anyway, I've heard all kinds of, we're not going to get into conspiracy. We could do a
I
conspiracy another.
We'll
what's
have to
what
do a whole
where's
conspiracy
where's
show
Effie Thori gonna do her happy birthday to you?
on
She's
Instagram Reels.
happy.
Happy day.
Instagram and I guess Facebook's going to get a resurgence again now.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. So we have a very loyal listener who is actually the organizer of your comedy show, Ange, John
Yes.
Show, who
The
gets very
Tesla driver
offended when
himself.
I talk about how much I hate Teslas. I was driving, like, I cannot get over these Tesla trucks, you guys. I just
Oh,
can't. Have you
and
seen
they're in high
that?
demand.
Seen them, right?
The
And they're
definition of an
ugly.
oxymoron.
There's lots of them in Vancouver.
It's
Lots.
they're
Lots of them in
so
LA.
like what? Why?
Did you see the one that came out of India 15 years ago? It was a garbage
It was
can
a
with
garbage. It
wheels.
was a garbage tank. It was, yeah.
So he stole the idea and from Indian. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. It probably drives nice, but for $180,000, I've got 10 other cars I would probably buy instead of that one.
It's
But
amazing like what a
it's
marketing
status.
campaign can do. Like
People
why
are
wouldn't
buying
you
them.
buy a Ferrari or Maserati
It's
or something?
Well,
status.
they
Yeah.
have those. They have those too. This is a status vehicle.
Yeah.
For
Wow.
Well, I have it. I
$180,000 to
have
buy
it.
a house.
Yes.
It may be in
Well, where? I'm
Sudbury,
not sure
Ontario.
where, but
No,
somewhere.
but 180,000 is a pretty good deposit on a condo in
180,000.
Oh,
You're
a
Vancouver.
not buying a
deposit.
house in
Okay. I'm like, I'm
Vancouver or
not sure
LA,
where
George.
we're buying a house for
Yeah.
180,000,
In
but
Detroit, you buy a whole neighborhood for 180,000.
180 grand. Yeah, no kidding.
that's funny.
Yeah,
Ah.
George, were you part of that world record making sex event in the
Tell, tell
UK?
us, tell us about that,
Why are
Niko.
we only talking? You're always reverting back to sex, Sissy.
Hang on, hang on,
Defend.
hang on. Hey, it's the new year. It's a new Niko. Tell us
Dora,
about that
listen,
event, Niko.
there was an OnlyFans star that she set a new world record by sleeping with, get this, 1,057 men in 12 hours.
Okay,
Wow.
somebody do the math on that.
They
I'm doing
did
it
the
right now.
math. I think it was about 40 seconds per after, yeah, something like that.
That's 88. That's 88 guys an hour.
Yeah, so that's, yeah.
That is gross.
That's
Yep.
one
You
guy
kidding?
every second.
No.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
it?
1.46. I
Oh
think
yeah.
so.
Okay.
Thank
So
you, George, for the stats on that.
Well,
Uh,
listen.
so
If
George,
I'm not doing something else with my right hand, I'm
so
calculating.
George, you're saying it's 1.4 seconds per gentleman.
no, I thought it was like
I would have
40
never lasted that
Maybe she
long.
was double. Yeah, but you know what? Knowing you, 1.4
You know what?
seconds, that's a lot of time.
You know what? You're right. Because hang on. What was the definition of her actions? What did she have to do?
George, I'm at work right now. I am not going into
Do
these
not Google
websites.
that.
I've
Not
Googled
Google
it, but I'm
that.
not
No,
going into
because
these
You can
links.
do it on your phone.
Was it
Well, listen, if you go onto some porn sites,
yes?
there's videos there.
Okay,
And
so let's talk about logistics, but we're not going to
last
talk about it vulgarly. Like, what's the word?
Vulgarly.
So,
without vulgarity, yes.
so the man has to be ready, obviously,
Yeah,
ready to
yeah.
go. So, what are they standing in a line with their hand, just like
No, Angela can talk. Angela can speak to this. In the movie business, it's
what?
called a
There's a
What
it's
fluffer.
called a
Angela?
fluffer. There's a fluffer in
Oh,
the
there's a fluffer. So, was there
yes.
a fluffer?
That's a good question.
And why
George
would
just
Angelo know about fluffers? I'm offended.
It's
Andrew, you're
movie
offended.
business. Everybody knows about fluffers in the
I'm
movie
not in the
business.
Zoda business.
yeah.
I was in the Prince and Me and Harold Kumar go to White Castle, not Tawny the Carriola. I wasn't in that movie.
George.
It's
You're funny, George.
Yeah.
But guys, let me ask you, OnlyFans, what's next? Only Greeks? I mean, we've become, people don't want to get real jobs. I know people
Yeah.
here in LA and Vegas. I know women who are pulling in $15,000 to $30,000 a week.
Wow.
A
So
week?
a week. Some people, yes, on OnlyFans.
That's
And I mean,
insane.
we become that. It's a progression. Like, what's next? I mean,
Angela,
I think,
I'm sure you know this also. There are men who purchase women's underwear, used
yeah,
underwear online. And
Yeah.
some of them are through these sites where they're making whatever the hell it is per week.
fetish.
Now it's disgusting is what it is, but
Some
yeah.
people only post their feet or like
Yeah,
because there's so many people
fetish.
with feet
Yeah.
fetishes and just like weird shit, man. What is wrong with us?
I know another one where they have hot women eating hamburgers, and guys are turned on by it. I mean,
That is
Wow.
so funny. Okay, I'm getting off
Okay.
this topic, but speaking of food and love, potentially. So Valentine's Day is coming up, guys. Don't forget that. It's in a month, Niko.
Hmm?
And the other day I got an email.
George and I are going to the UK.
Kalana perasete. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I got an email and it said, Love at first bite. Bring a loved one and enjoy this family dinner. I'm going to tell you guys what it is. It is only $19.99 a person. Sounds like a
Okay.
deal, right?
What's the restaurant?
So for a starter, you can get a tomato feta soup or a mushroom soup or a Caesar salad. Pretty good. For your main course, you can get salmon or butternut squash ravioli or meatballs in a demi-glaze sauce. That should tip you off as to where the restaurant is. And then for a dessert, you can have cheesecake or a chocolate cake or a dalm cake, which should also tip you off to where this restaurant is.
Was it a strip club?
$19.99 IKEA. IKEA, you can
IKEA.
bring. Now, what, George, what would Dimitra say if you brought her to IKEA? That's a pretty good menu, you got to admit.
Well, the question is what time is the meal served? I can bring her there during the day. If it's for lunch, let's say, that might work. And then she has to buy a whole bunch of shit that she has to put together, and then she'll
It's
be happy.
between 5 and 7.
Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be packed. And Dora, did you tell them that you have to actually put your meal together?
Very nice.
It's
That was
IKEA.
good.
That was good.
No, it's not
That was good.
IKEA, Niko. It's Mala.
Mala
IKEA.
IKEA.
That's what it is. Go there and they get with their look, good marketing on their part.
Yeah.
But I think if you took your sweetheart to Malakes, first of all, if you want an escape room for the family, go to IKEA. Just try to get out of that place for an hour.
If you take your spouse to Malakia for Valentine's Day dinner, olo Malakia thakanis ke tipo talo.
No kidding.
That's the
That's the
truth.
name.
Yeah.
But
You'll be with
it's kind of
Kamala.
novel for some people who've been together for a long time. It's kind of like, oh, where'd you go for Valentine's Day? We went to IKEA. We had the
Yeah.
meatballs and the salmon, and like
But-
Niko says, you got to put your meal together, which is very funny, by the way.
But let me, but let
Yes,
me ask you a
moments,
question.
Ange. Do you
Let me
need
ask
an
you-
opening act outside of Ellen
I got
Karen?
Nikos.
Yeah, right.
Let me ask you a question. I think that we should realize that there's a couple of big celebrations coming up, right? Obviously, February
Yes.
14th is Valentine's Day. But the truth is a lot of women always forget March 14th.
Stop.
Why is
You
that?
said this last year, and I can't remember what it is, but I know it's inappropriate.
Yeah, just do a search on it.
What
Yeah.
is it, George?
It's steak and pipa night.
Steak and pipa night.
Yeah.
I'm in.
There you go.
Seriously.
Steak and pipa. Well, I know. Is it March 17 is St. Patty's Day?
Right. So 3 days before you have steak and pipa.
Steak and pipa night. Great.
So George, I'll make the steaks. You give the pipa.
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
He's
Oh
on fire
my
tonight. He's
God.
on fire.
You know, when Niko's good, he's good. But when
Yeah.
he's
He's good.
not, then he's grumpy.
I was waiting
Grumpy
for him to
Niko.
say somebody to say it, but it's. Let me ask you though.
Yeah.
We talk about Valentine's Day, overpriced, sweethearts. Shouldn't every day be Valentine's Day or Christmas
I
Day?
wish.
Or steak
You know,
and
it
pipa
should
day.
be.
I'm
And you know what?
still
You know what I
waiting
tell
for
some-
Valentine's Day to be every day. I'm waiting.
You know, Dora, because I miss a lot. I miss my anniversaries. I never miss my daughter's birthday,
Nice.
and
Well,
I never miss Christmas. I'm
Good.
unfortunately my wife. It's her birthday, but we make it. So I tell them, look, even like I had to leave for New Year's. I took the girls to Benihana for teppanyaki, which we love.
oh, nice.
It's great, and the whole show. And I said, look, I'm not going to be here for New Year's. So I think as long as your partner knows the intention is there,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you go to IKEA or White Spot or where wherever you're going to go. As I think the whole idea is you're taking your sweetie out for Valentine's Day. It's the idea
Yeah.
of it, right?
So,
But, you know,
Niko used to, like when we were first dating, he would always buy me these big, beautiful bouquets of flowers from like, specialized florists. And then as the years went by, then it became like the 1999 bouquet from Costco, right? Which is fine. They're beautiful, beautiful flowers. And then now, Niko,
It's
and-
forest lawn. Florists or cemetery, I mean.
no, but you know what happens after a while, Dora?
He's
It's like,
joking.
"Gee,
He's joking.
you want flowers? You know how much it costs for flowers? Still has
I
money.
know.
You know how many wreaths I brought, Dora?
You
I
gotta
know.
go-
He
you
keeps
know what's
bringing me
funny?
these wreaths and he's snapped off the ribbon.
But Dora, let me ask you. My wife says this to me. She goes, "Don't spend $100 on flowers. Give me the $100. I'll go get a mani pedi."
Smart.
Yeah.
So
You know what's
so I-
better
okay,
is
fair
to
enough.
surprise your wife on a freaking Thursday night with not a big bouquet, with like, just a small, like, why are you laughing?
Because it's Thursday night today.
Oh, is it? That's not what I
See-
totally coincidental.
And
There's Carrot.
carrot.
There's
Look,
carrots.
Carrot is my traveling companion. My daughter gave this to me when she was 4.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
You always have somebody with me. So I bring Carrot. This is my Valentine. When I'm ever venting, I vent the Carrot.
Oh,
Little
Ah.
caroto.
Just-
But the thing, I think it's funny. Okay, so my daughter, this is a good topic. My daughter did Seussical at her art school. They did Seussical.
fun. Our kids had done Seussical the musical once
Seussical.
too.
So I said to Alina, I'm going to get, so they're selling flowers there
yeah,
for $25. I go, let me get the flowers. No, guys. So let me get them.
yeah.
They sold out.
Oh,
So the
shit.
kids are coming out, and the other kids see the parents giving them flowers, like as they do, like in Broadway. And I
Yeah.
went up and we gave our daughter these flowers, and she was so happy.
Yeah, of course.
And her
Yeah.
friend said, "Yeah, my parents didn't get me anything," and I didn't do it for that reason. I said, sometimes it's the gesture.
Yeah.
Like they always say, that it's the MasterCard commercial priceless until they get the
Yes, exactly.
a nice hug from your son, Yanni,
Yeah.
right? Beautiful
Nico, and
boy.
he's
Niko.
going upstairs to play Theo Peter PS5.
You go to PS5, but the thing is, give you a hug, man. That's what
Yeah.
counts.
That's
Right.
all
And,
that
and I mean,
counts.
and I think the problem we put too much emphasis on merchandise
Yeah.
and symbolism. But I think if you can say, look, Christmas time. I said to my family, I'm not. I'm 291 days on the road. I'm not fucking shopping. So I got the girls 4 days before Christmas. Here's your options. I can go to the mall and fight with everybody up the escalators, this and that. Or next June, we go to Greece and Armenia for vacation. What do you want? Guess what they both said?
Fantastic.
Bruce.
Vacation.
Yeah.
And then they went on Amazon and ordered all the shit they wanted.
Exactly.
It didn't matter. But you see what I'm saying? Like, as I said, I'm tired. I don't want to go.
I hear
I
you.
know the whole idea, like you're talking about, did you do your shopping? You do your shopping. Every day is shopping here.
And
I come home, Dora. My wife says to me, "Oh, I've stopped it. Just matzah." George, I was home for an hour. She had to go do something. In the hour, 2 Amazon trucks, 1 FedEx, and 1 UPS showed up. The time I was there, and my wife goes, "Shit." The time I go, "You didn't buy anything." Jeff Bezos just called me asking how you're doing because you haven't called him in a couple of days. So it's funny how I think I get what it's all about. Valentine's Day here in LA, to go 2 people sweetheart dinner at Pachi on Laurel Canyon. It's $300.
I know. I get it. That's why I want to for me. So that's what I'm expecting this year.
wait, I didn't hear that. It kind of,
Oh, was it muffled?
it was muffled. So, but you know what, Angela, the other thing that Dora does, let's say it's September, she sees something really expensive. She goes, "Oh, I really want this. How about in lieu of getting me a gift for Christmas, we'll just buy now." Okay, no problem. December comes, I still have
forgets
to buy
about that,
something.
yeah.
Yes, you forget.
What'd
I
you
still,
get me?
yeah,
That's
where'd
how
you
we
get?
got to.
You
That's
didn't get
how we.
anything. Yeah,
That's
don't
how
fall
we
for that
turned
trick.
Constantino Sargiros. That's how I looped him into
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I live with Dora's sister in LA. I live with the same woman here. My kid, they went to see Taylor Swift in Toronto. My dad, I didn't get the
know,
t-shirt.
that was
Hey, Miss
awesome.
Kezies, you got floor seats to Taylor Swift. You got the whole
I
thing
would
there.
do the same thing. Sorry, I went and saw Constantino Sargiros front row. I didn't care in LA. And I said to Niko, that'll be our Christmas present.
Yeah,
But
right.
Until Christmas.
then I had to fill my the stockings, and then it's all good.
Kalana imasta, I guess.
Yeah,
Namaste ka laki
this has been a great
exactly.
show. We need to move on to our community news and to wrap it up. But we have lots to talk about with community news. So this last weekend, Angelo, just to let you know, in Vancouver, we had the beautiful a HEPA scholarship presentation
Nice.
where
Very
I want to
nice.
say 36.
$36,500 was given.
Just give it away.
Bravo.
Yeah,
Good on a HEPA. Bravo.
absolutely. And you know, there were 28
Oh, shoot.
recipients.
You just reminded me, we haven't done aesthetic Malaka.
No.
So let's continue this and we'll just bring it in.
Do that. We'll do it after.
Okay. I kind of wanted to put this entire thing in one shot onto YouTube because it's been so good. I'm actually going to put the video on YouTube because it's been a great show.
So Asteria Malaka, go. Go. Serious, go.
Well,
I'm not editing this out because this is what happens.
No edits.
Okay.
Asteria, HEPA.
Asteria Malaka, and you're up.
Okay, Asteria for this week, guys, and for the world, the Asteria are the first responders in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
Yes.
LA Fire Department, Police Department, ambulatory, all special services, Red Cross, beyond Asteria. They did so much. They did so much. They saved so many people. I cannot emphasize how proud I am of these people. The malakes are the malakes in the same breath who were shooting fireworks
Oh.
in LA during these winds. So I'm thinking, there's there's this thing in LA where almost every night they're shooting off fireworks.
Why?
There's a group of people that like to do it all the time at midnight.
Really?
Yes, it's a fact. I'm like, I can sit in my backyard sometimes and they're shooting off fireworks. These malakes were shooting fireworks off during these high winds.
Wow.
This is live. I mean, that can obviously start fires. And I think a few people got arrested. So, asteria to the first responders in LA, the malakes, these guys go, oh, it's a good time to shoot fireworks off. We're gonna see what's going to happen.
Niko, your turn.
Oh, wait, I think we're just doing Ange.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
we're
cool.
just
I mean, I
doing
just did
Ange.
it. Sorry, I just did a Google search. Why are
Sure.
fireworks going off every night in California?
And the
Yeah,
And it's
answer
just,
is
yeah, it's just too
every
much to
night.
read. Yeah, every
Because
night.
they're celebrating something.
Well, it's unclear if the problem is worse this year than last. What's certain is that most people, yeah, it's just that they're bored. It sounds like.
I mean, okay, but K, like you said, K get the cosmos,
Yeah.
yeah.
right?
Literally.
And you got all these things that are happening. Another let's go with the malakes now. People that were messaging me asking me if this was all done by AI.
If the fires were fake and it
The
was all
fires were
AI,
fake.
Yeah.
So you guys were, you're dramatizing it. It's Hollywood. You guys are all crybabies. No, you're a malaka to think that these things weren't real. People were misplaced. People died.
Yeah.
It was a real stupidity.
My question to you, Angie, did you block and delete those fucks?
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
But
Is
I'll
that-
give it a steady. Another. Sorry, I'm keeping the
Go
Asteria
for it.
In-N-Out Burger, California, who led the way, as well as a lot of other businesses. Let's not In-N-Out Burger. First responders were fed complimentary by In-N-Out Burger. They never went on social media to advertise it. There was firefighters going into In-N-Out Burger, and the people were giving them a standing O, and people were recording it, and they're the ones who put it up on social media. In-N-Out Burger, grassroots. I mean, you guys have had In-N-Out Burger, great burger,
Yes.
but you know what? Made me a fan for life now. I don't
Yeah.
care if anyone else
Sure.
opens,
Absolutely.
Kostaki Burger or Stavro Burger or whatever. They're good.
All right. Okay. So we are going to resume next week again with more asteria and malakes with Ange. But in the meantime, let's go back to our community news. So yes, we have the HEPA scholarships. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. George, you tell us. Take it on.
Honestly, it was a great event. I was mostly impressed by the students. Angelo, if you were there were engineers, there were chemical engineers, there
Nice.
were master's students. There was such a high quality in the Greek diaspora here in BC. The parents should all be proud of them. But as a committee, we want to raise as much money as possible by donating 36,500 this year. We're hoping to continuously give 50 every year. Hopefully, we'll get there, but it's something that we even had people afterwards. So the Hellenic community of Surrey and Fraser Valley emailed me today. They're going to be doing it next year as well. So there's a lot of people who want to now contribute to this, and that's really it speaks to the involvement of the Hellenic communities and the diaspora and the people who want to see children progress. Can I throw one bit of a maliser, as they say in Montreal? To this portion.
Of course, it wouldn't be the
To
Dora show without it.
My malisers of the week are people who actually criticize an organization of Greek Orthodox Christians who are trying to do well. That's all I have to say. That's all.
Yeah.
I'll go on.
Okay.
They don't like the traditional. George, they don't like nothing traditional. But we're Greeks. We're traditional still. And I'm with you on this one.
It's like when people criticize an organization because they think they have misconceptions about it. And it's like makes
that they're Satanists or something.
Yeah, something like he is. It's unbelievable.
We're not going to bring any attention to the negative crap that goes on out there.
No, we're not. But off air, I'll tell you a whole bunch about it.
All right. So I have not compiled my community news from
Nice going, Dora.
You know what the other great thing is, Ange, a great thing that's happened in my life recently is I've actually gotten off of social media. The only social media that I do
Wow.
post for the podcast. I found that before Christmas, around that time, and for a long time now, that it really has taken over my life of just like aimless, like without any reason, just spending hours and hours and hours
Yeah.
just scrolling with no purpose. You know what I mean? So I decided to give myself a break and it's been fantastic. But the only
Nice.
downside that comes with it is stuff like I'm not as organized as I normally would be in stuff
Well,
like that.
I have it open in front of me. If you want me, I can go through it if you want.
You've got the one from last week. I do have some screenshots about some new stuff that's going on. So our community news may not be in order, but yeah, let's
That's
do
okay. January 16th, the Hellenic Studies lecture, Pretty in Pink, at the SFU Vancouver campus. I'm not sure what they mean by pretty in pink. My mind goes so many places, but I won't go there right now. January 25th, the Bible study, Acts of the Apostles, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. at St. Nicholas Demetrios Church, which of course is competing with the Angelo Tsarouchas comedy show, also on January 25th. And why would they do that?
Why would they put it the same night?
Why would
You
they
know
do
what?
that?
I wonder if that's an error on my part. That would be weird. Why would they put
It
it on?
would because
Wait, I'm going to look right now because
Yeah,
I just saw it.
look
It's
it
on
up.
it's on, no. Bible study dates, Acts of the Apostle are January 16th and 30th.
okay, good.
All
Okay.
are welcome. God bless. Greek
Okay.
Orthodox community.
Yeah,
So
I'm
because
so sorry, Greek
Thank
Orthodox,
you.
St. Nicholas and Demetrius Church.
Thank you, Niko, for being so organized and not like this person here who thinks that the show's named after.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
think
very
one of
impressed
you
with
needs to
Dora.
take over
Yeah.
community news. Can
Well done,
one of
Dora.
you
Well
guys
done.
do it from now on?
Hang on. We're still recording, Dora. This is for YouTube. Thank you. So, on January 25th, the Angelo Tsarouchas comedy show at the Hellenic Community of Vancouver. Doors open at 7, shows at 8:30. What are we going to do for 90 minutes between 7 and 8:30?
Well, wait, it's going to be me and Ellen Karras on the show.
But it says the
You guys are
door opens
starting
at
at
7 and the
8:30.
show opens.
Well, you
starts
know,
at
Greeks,
8:30.
by the time they show up, by the time they get a drink, by the time
I'll
everybody
tell you
talks
what
to
they're
each
going to
other.
do because you know what? Those amazing kids from the Cretan Association of BC are going to have set up concession that night,
Mhm.
so generously allowing our kids to continue their fundraising for. Actually, you know
Nice.
what? I want to talk about this because our kids have been fundraising, and I just feel that. I mean, nobody has blatantly come out and say it, but I feel like
Here
maybe
goes.
they're over fundraising and people have questions as to why are they fundraising so much money. I want to put it out there to our listeners that this trip for 11 people is costing $22,000.
that's
Yeah,
Canadian.
easily.
Yeah.
Canadian, yeah.
Or
It's about
10,000 American.
I estimated it to be
Very
about
much.
16,000
Yeah.
US. The
Yeah.
exchange rate kills us. We need 4 hotel rooms, 11 flights, 11 registrations. The registration packages in Canadian funds comes out to about $600.
Are people complaining that you're fundraising too much?
I don't think, well, this kind of like the feel that I get, oh, Bali fundraiser kind of there or something like that, right? So I want people to know that this is all like, and they've already raised, I want to say about 17 or 18. So the work that these kids have done is
Right.
Good for
incredible,
them.
and they just have a little more ways to go because,
I
there were
can't
some,
believe people are negative.
even the fact, George, that cabs for us to go from LAX to Anaheim and back is going to cost us $1,000 because we need 3 cabs. It's about 120 US each way per cab, right?
Why
That's
aren't you landing in Orange County then?
it was the airline tickets were way more expensive
I
to
see. Okay.
to Orange County. But anyways, I just wanted to put it out there. The kids are going to be at the comedy show. They will have set up concession.
Will they have
Nice.
hot dogs?
There won't be hot dogs, but there will be
What is
popcorn and
what is
nuts,
Angelo's
candy
cut?
bags.
Is Angelo
Angelo is not taking
Staying
a
away, staying away from hot dogs and stuff like that.
and of
What if
course,
I bring you a
community, I
smoky
believe,
salad,
also
Angelo?
has appetizers out on the table. So that's what you can do from 7 to 8:30, George.
Eat. Okay.
I'm
I'll be
looking
eating.
forward to the show. It's going to be great.
I'm so excited. And
I
also,
heard it's pretty much
Jared,
sold out, I heard, I think, huh?
Oh
it
yeah.
is. It is. There are, I want to say, I don't know if John is going to want me to say, but I think there's definitely close to 500 tickets sold right now.
It's good.
So
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Good big night. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
And the fact that it's a fundraiser for Camp Met is huge. You know,
Great.
I'm proud of those
I'm
kids.
very honored that they got me to come and do it for them, in Vancouver, and that you're gonna have such a good turnout. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's all the way around. It's good. You
And
Mhm.
make
can't-
sure you promote the Dora Pabuzaki show, Ange.
Don't you worry. I'm gonna take some zingers out on you too, Dora.
That's
Good.
it.
Make sure we got on there.
And to be honest,
Uh,
the last thing I want to say on that is good on Camp Met for allowing the Cretan youth to
Yes.
fundraise during their fundraiser. I think
Yeah.
that's a
Good.
lovely spirit of cooperation.
That's the way it should be, actually.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's exactly how it should be.
And
We should
George,
all
I
be
think
helping
George
each
wants
other.
George wants a pretty in pink fundraiser that night too, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I really do kind of figure
Oh my
that out.
God, don't do that. We're going on
What's
YouTube.
wrong with you?
Stop. What is wrong with you?
George, I've got an idea for a HEPA fundraiser.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to blur
Your golf
that out
gloves,
now. You're causing
your
me
golf
more
gloves
work.
can have
Yeah,
different
yes,
colors.
yes. I've seen that. That's awesome.
I'm gonna blur you guys out.
And Angelo, another thing is I've seen a cigar holder that's a magnet. You put the cigar on it and you just magnetize it to your golf court.
Well, that's actually
It's
a really good
That's
idea.
good.
Freaking
I like
awesome.
that,
Yeah, yeah.
Can we stay on task, please?
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
We are.
Fados. Fados is having their first lecture of 2025. It's going to be a good one. It's on January 27th at the Hellenic Community of Vancouver, of course, the upstairs hall. It is called the Global Aegean in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. I can't talk century.
Okay.
It's about the village in Lesbos. I don't have my glasses. I can't read this. My apologies, but it's going to be a great lecture. Niko, thank you for sending that to me. I do have a couple more things. Open Gym is happening on Sunday the 19th for Goya from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Hellenic Community of Vancouver. And the Greek community of Surrey and Fraser Valley have their membership appreciation dinner on Saturday, February the 8th. Doors and bar open at 6:30. And that's happening again in Surrey, free for members who paid in 2025 music and dinner on us, cash bar. So RSVP by February 1st. It's fun.
That's why it's not fun. There's a lot of good events happening in Vancouver.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on. So, not a bad place to live there, Ange.
Absolutely.
Make sure
I
you
think-
bring your jacket and your toque and your gloves. It's gonna be cold here.
Yeah, no, that I know. But maybe I'll bring some of the warmth up with me from
Hopefully.
And take
I
some of the
hope
water
so.
back with you.
Hey,
Yeah, no
hey,
kidding.
Ange, before we wrap up here, we have a couple minutes left. I've been meaning to ask you all, what's the air quality like?
Well, it was pretty crappy for a few days. You had the suit and all the stuff all over our garden furniture and everything. But I
Yeah.
noticed today it's really cleaned up a lot with the winds taking
good.
a lot of it.
Because, we have a couple of people coming down for FDF. And of course, I'm praying that this is all done by then, but you
I
don't
think
know
so. Yeah.
how long, the air quality and people who are asthmatics, people who have lung issues, this is like
Right.
really hard for them, I'm sure, too,
Right.
right? You stay
I think it's
indoors.
good. They'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. What an awesome show back for 2025. Angelo, thank you so much for taking time. And I know it's a hard
Always.
time for you. We will see everybody again next week.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you for listening. And we know you have many choices out there. Thanks for listening to us. Adeya.
Yakara.
Pare pipa.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Niko.
See you.